Welcome everybody. How you doing? I'm Legionnaire. Welcome to this video talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. So recently they showed a reveal trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2 console, and it kind of came out of nowhere. So let's talk about it. So the Nintendo Switch 2 console, it was shown off a few days ago. It's definitely trending right now. Everybody's watching it. Everybody's dissecting it. It's a really cool trailer because it kind of just has like a big CG overflow where they deteriorate the old Switch and it transforms into the new Switch. The screen gets bigger, the Joy-Cons get bigger, the entire Switch console kind of like breaks apart as the new pieces come into place. It's really sleek. It's really cool. It doesn't feel like it's too grand, you know. It's just like, hey, here's a Switch. This is what it's going to be. Tune in April 2nd. That's basically it. And they showed off a new Mario Kart, which is awesome. People have been waiting for a new Mario Kart for a long time. And well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has helped people over for a long time. It's probably the best Mario Kart there is because of how, like, it's got like 50 tracks. It's got tracks going all the way back to like the very first Mario Kart. It's the best roster you've got for Mario Kart racing, especially all the characters that it brings, and even some from like Zelda. Link is there, so it's got a lot to fill you with. And also, of course, it started on the Wii U. But a new Mario Kart is exciting because they get to try out new things. There's already been people dissecting what's going on with it. But before we get into Mario Kart, let's talk about the Switch itself. What is changing with the console? The console itself is going to have two USB-C slots, one on the top and one on the bottom. The original Switch only has one on the bottom, so when you're charging it, say if you're holding it while you're charging it, the cable's kind of coming towards you. And it's very awkward to place in place. You can't like set it down anywhere while you're charging it. So the top one is going to become really handy, as well as probably playing a host to be able to use like third-party stuff, like third-party headsets and things like that. You can connect it directly to the Switch. It's got your standard audio jack, slot for the cartridges, place for everything. The back flap is finally changing. It's getting better. It's going to encompass the entire back, but you're going to take a piece of it off, and you'll be able to slant your console back at an angle. Also, it looks like it's made to not be like super breakable. Like you can adjust it as much as you need to. So that was a problem with the first one. The Nintendo Switch flap, the little flap it had on the back, was very weak. It was very weak, right? I'm not sure if you could just snap it back on. I don't remember. But I feel like it's happened to most people who have a Switch where you just bend it too much and it feels like it's broken or something, right? So that's pretty cool. The console itself is upgrading. The bigger screen is definitely going to be great. Well, whether this Switch will come in OLED is hard to tell, really. You know, OLED is very expensive, so they might save the OLED screen for like a future thing that they do again, like they did with the Switch. But I do think it'll be a really nice screen still. It's not going to be OLED, but it's going to be whatever's the step below. Because you want to keep costs down, right? They're trying to keep this console under $400. This console will be $400, mark my words, today. It's going to be a $399.99, and that's fine. The Switch launched at $299. That was 8 years ago. This time they're probably going to bump it up to $400. As these other consoles that are out, you know, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are $500 still, but $400 if you want digital only. They confirm that it will be backwards compatible, but they add that little wrinkle in that says almost all, or like, you know, not every game is going to be compatible. So I bet that's probably for like, you know, just to make sure that they cover their asses. You know, not every game will work perfectly. There will be maybe an issue Maybe there'll be licensing issues. Some games can't work on the new console because the company has to re-up their license, right? Like for example, that happened a lot with between the 360 to the like the 360 to the Xbox One and the PS4, the PS3 to the PS4. So there was a lot of license issues, and I think companies these days take a lot of steps ahead to make sure that doesn't happen as much. But no matter what, there will be license drops, and games just can't be played on the newest systems. So that's what I think that's there to cover. The Joy-Cons themselves, they're getting bigger along with the screen, but the Joy-Cons look like they're kind of staying the same. So I like the way it looks now. It looks a lot more sleeker. You know, the original ones for the first Switch were made to slide in, so they had to account for that. But this one, they're going to be magnetic. They're going to attach, right? They have a new attach sound. I think it's cool, right? I think it looks great. It's modern. No more sliding problems. My own console had a sliding problem. I think it broke. So I had one Joy-Con that was like hanging sometimes. So the Joy-Cons, they look great. I think they look good. If I were to hope for better buttons, I would have hoped for a bigger analog stick, right? Yeah, the analog sticks are a little small still. You know, maybe they'll bump up in size a little bit to adjust for the new sizes of the Joy-Cons. But I didn't have a problem with the analog sticks on the Pro Controller. Pro Controller was perfect for the Switch. So just use that Pro Controller again. We'll be happy. So the D-pad on the Joy-Cons is still the same, and I think that is the most disappointing part. It's made so that they can be buttons. I get it. I get it. So that's why I don't hate it completely. But a real D-pad would be so much better for the games. It would make fighting games a lot better on the Switch. Like I played Street Fighter 30th Anniversary on my Switch when I had a Switch. Using the Joy-Cons is a bad move. It's a bad move. Especially for the diagonal attacks you got to do. It would be so much better if the Joy-Con had that. But you can get like third-party Joy-Cons that do have that. Joy-Cons that are meant to be used on the console or on the controller slots. But that's why you get the Pro Controller, right? The Pro Controller was the best way to go. So these are going to be bigger, so I'll be happy to use the console itself to check it out, right? I'm going to be excited to check it out. But ultimately, we'll end up going back to the Pro Controller, most likely. As most people will do, right? The Joy-Cons will probably be best for when you're traveling. So you don't have to have an extra controller case with you. You can just have the system itself with the controllers on the end. It's perfect. The system, definitely more rounder in design. The dock itself is a lot rounder. So there's a lot more symmetry with that. The original Switch, much more squared off. That's just a design difference, I'd say. You know, I say systems usually alternate between round off and square off when it comes to their designs. So, Mario Kart. Let's talk about it. This new Mario Kart, we don't get much. We get a lot of the area that they're in. It looks like some kind of deserty road, kind of like a highway or something. You see a good look at some of the characters. You got Mario, Bowser there, Luigi's there. A whole bunch of them are there. Now, I can't take credit for this. I've seen videos talk about the player count. The player count looks like there's 24 starting spots, which is crazy for Mario Kart, right? I don't even know how high they go. What is it, like 12? So doubling the player count is nuts. And I've seen a lot of people complaining about Donkey Kong design because it looks like the movie design. I can see it, you know, but also that's a very blurry image. It's a very blurry image. You gotta wait till we see it in April. They're gonna give a full look at the game in April. And they're still quite a ways off from launch. So let's not forget that, right? We got like 6 months before this game is even out. Assuming that the Switch comes out in like May or June. Give it a little time. We'll get a better look at it. And while it does not look the best there, I'll give it that. It looks, the colors look faded and stuff, and the eyes look just so much darker than usual. Not the eyeballs, I mean like the eyes around, the lids around it, you know, just look so much darker. When we see it in April, you know, we could probably get a really good look at everything. But for myself, you know, I have no real complaints. It wasn't much to go off of. The track looks massive though. It looks really wide, you know, so maybe they're going to be changing it to get accustomed to 24 players on one track, right? That's going to be a lot of players. So it's great to see Mario Kart. There's a lot of games that I am hoping to see in April, but that is for another video. So everybody, thanks for watching the Nintendo Switch 2 talk, chat, my discussion on this new system and what I think of its design. I did do a whole reaction to it, and we did discuss a bit in that, but my mic was just a mess, so I decided to do something like this instead. Anyways, what do you think of the Nintendo Switch 2 design? Are you excited for April to see what comes out of it? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.